Hey, you guys. Welcome. Yes, I have another lesson for you. That's only because I'm goofing off. I'm just goofing off. I'm taking this Sunday to preach and preach, teach and preach, teach and preach. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I like the teaching part. Preaching, I'm not so sure about the preaching part, but I can put on them airs and I can talk like this and I can get everything going. But anyways, it's got to be a little bit of acting. I always thought that's what we did when we got up there on the, get ready to serve, communion and stuff like that, and all dressed up too pretty, got the gold clothes on today because we got a special day. The show must go on. Well, I don't know. I'm over here. I'm on the computer and I'm talking to somebody about Sodom and Gomorrah. And I didn't know what he was talking about at first because I say, oh, it's never happened. And someone says it's just a myth, and I said, yeah, it's a myth, but you have to believe a lot of that, But this is where you get this hateful business from it. Being Sodom and Gomorrah is about queers and stuff like that, and if they could find proof of this, then they really kind of like, oh, those queers, who there's because that's really what it is. It's the men of the town. It's about the men of the town want to know these two angels that came into town, which are also two men. So this idea, they want to get in there. But I put you down for a second. I said, oh, this is what this guy's talking about. Because they're talking about there's physical evidence on the ground here that shows that this is Sodom and Gomorrah. And I said, oh, man, I'm not going to believe that at all. Yeah, I've got invested interest in this, that, this idea is that a whole town full of queers. I couldn't believe it. I came to Key West thinking that's a whole town full of queers. If you talk to other people around here, they'd all say this whole town's full of queers. Well, I'm a queer, and I'll tell you, this place ain't full of queers, Not at all. I would say maybe like 20, 30, 40 years ago, there's more queers coming to this town. And that was like that everywhere. But, a lot of people died off. There's a mess of queers gone. You know, some those bad habits of them queers, poor men. But anyways, we find that in the old days, we were called eunuchs. We were these natural eunuchs. They tell you about this in the Bible. It says that you're one of these girly boys. They don't say that, but it's a guy that doesn't procreate. It's someone who doesn't procreate, and it can be a woman too. And there's three types of those guys, and there's the people that save themselves for God, and chastity and stuff like that, And then there's those that happen by man cuts their penises off, makes them into slaves and stuff like that. And then there's those natural guys that pop out of their mama's wombs naturally. This is it. This is us queers. Ba-bong. Do you think I can get a queer to believe that? Nope, not at all. I've already tried. They say, oh, I'm not a eunuch. I said, you goddamn stupid motherfucker, But anyways, queers used to be able to adopt children when this was in Rome. They used to be able to, they were citizens, full-blooded citizens, and everybody knew about queers back then. In fact, there was this idea that when they started recognizing this homosexual thing as being a male-on-male thing, this whole taking things literally, the Bible at that time, because men's kind of dumb, they started cracking down on this, but it still took over 200 or 300 years to make the queer the scapegoat. All right. It took a long time because they were still getting married and they were still happy, and there was just so many queers. So, but we have to think the queers, they don't have any history at all. No history. That's because we make this up. We decided to go this way. Regardless of what God or anybody else on earth says, we did this. We did this to ourselves. And whatever happens to us is our own goddamn problems. Fuck those queers. That's what you get. But this is what I argued with today when I'm talking with people. I said, listen, dude, this is illiterate. The Leviticus tale, the idea that if you're going to screw around with mankind as you would with womankind, it's going to be an abomination. But that's this idea. This idea of there's always the two. When we go up in meditation, there's two things that gets destroyed. When Jesus is killed on the cross, of that three, there are two things that get destroyed. I should say it more like that. And all of these stories, Sodom and Gomorrah, when it comes down to it, Sodom and Gomorrah and Abraham, two of those things get destroyed. And so it's always these two. So it's the lower mind and its belief system. Those are the two things that get killed. All right. Bam, bam. Sodom and Gomorrah. Boom, boom. Sodom is the mind. Sodom is knocking at the door. Sodom is the man side of our brain. That's what it is. No, this ain't real. I told him if those little nuggets, because they're digging out nuggets out of things. All right. I guess I'm getting back on subject because this is about Sodom and Gomorrah was real. I said, no, it's not real. If those little nuggets in that guy's hand look like little brain pieces, little pieces of the left side of our brain, I would say I believe it, because this is what gets destroyed, This is about this idea of being destroyed. This is our emotions, the belief system, and the physical side of us. This is father and this fake mother. That's what gets killed. And all of these stories, it's always this. It's always this. So anyhow, what was I talking about? Oh, I know what I was talking about. What I've been talking about all day long is that this guy said these naming of the ancient spots and stuff like that, but where something has already been, we build something on top of it. There's always the history of everything. There's been one civilization after another, and every one of those have been destroyed and then built on top of, if not covered over entirely. But it's always to fit the next group of people that are being groomed to go through this hell all over again, And there is some kind of a controlling force on things, but you will find that our Bible tells things in a way that you have the physical side where they're all looking for it. They found a little piece of something. This is going to represent, oh, look, this is real, But this, the Bible tells us that God only speaks to us in dark language, and Jesus only speaks to us in parables. And when you get that, you're getting two groups of symbolic writings, two hidden languages, where man looking right at the word itself is reading off the top of the Bible. Boom. That's what you see. You're so shallow, you can't go any further than that, because what you don't see is right there too. It's right there, right in front of your eyes as you're going. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is the male side knocking at the door to keep you from going over or onto the other side. It wants to take and make love with whatever it was, this little pulse sent down from God. Try to find me 50 people. Try to find me 10. Can you find me one? Hell no, you can't find none of this. I'm coming down. I'm going to tear down. Because, there's even stories in the Bible that, there was like a story in one of these. I'm not going to put the name to it. But it's like when the war was all over with, there was one guy, they had taken captives and stuff like that. And the storybook owner goes and kills them, he says, I want all of these dead, because there's no escaping this cleansing. There's no part of you left untouched by God when it comes down to it. And so, anyways, it's always the male on the side, the man, the mind not wanting to shut down, but when it does shut down, that's Sodom. All right, Sodom, boink, gone. Gomorrah, all right. Gomorrah is the emotion. This is what gave the power to it. This would be the second beast. This would be the religious side of them, all right. And do you know that I've been trying not to say this, but I've been wanting to say it. It's like I've overlooked it 2 times already today when talking about it. Is the dogma, this idea that we got a chance to choose between believing or not believing. Well, one side, when you believe in the word, creates this dogma. And you'll notice that 99.9% of the world runs off of dogma. I mean, how do we know this? For Christ's sakes, they've got Israel. They gave Israel a place on earth. You understand that? Oh my God. Right in the middle of hell on earth. They, let me tell you, this is what is also, and this is where I said I was going to find it in Corinthians. I didn't go and look, but I'm going to now. But the thing is that it's this dogma, because we were given the right to believe or not believe. But when we follow the tracks of the Bible, and we do the outside parts, what the Bible says to do, and put the woman in second place and hate queers and all this stuff, it's this divide and conquer. And remember, divide and conquer, because we came into the world without God. We were sent on this journey. And as we are going on this journey, we create this folly, and it took over. It's making it bigger than life. It is life. It is life. It is life itself. And so, yeah, we're gonna blow ourselves up. We're going to turn around and blow ourselves up. It happened every time. Every past time was that we just blew itself up. Whether we did it ourselves or Mother Nature, something. But it's not a rapture, not at all. That's something that you have to do while you're alive, and you have to do these things that we teach here on this channel. You have to do it, because that's the way it is. All right. So when we're talking about, relating to what's on earth and what's in our Bible, come on, this is not a Harlequin romance novel. It's not something that you should take right off the cuff and believe in, For those people that can hear, those people that can see, you're going to look at your Bible differently. And those people that can't look and see have to live off the top of the Bible. You just have to understand that there's just 2 different kinds of people. One is without, meaning the outside, and one is within, meaning the Jew, the real Jew. All right, you guys, I'll chat with you soon. Love you.